Hello, everybody. Bonjour, everybody. It's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. Of course, every Monday we're live, time zones permitting, hanging out with all of you, talking Royal Caribbean. Thank you for joining us here. Happy Monday. It is, we are in actually France right now, and I'm going to be in Europe for the next couple of weeks. So that's why we're doing the different time of this broadcast. But we're still dedicated to doing all this with you guys, just at a different time, because 7:30 Eastern is like 2:30 in the morning over here. And so you might understand why I will not be live at 7:30. But I am here to talk Royal Caribbean. I'm a little jet lagged. I'm just tired. Not really jet lagged, but just tired. But I am here to answer Royal Caribbean questions. Can't wait to talk with all of you. And we're going to start off today with the most important question, because we're going to get a lot of questions about Royal Caribbean. But we're going to start off with the most important question. How many days until your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Get your countdown in chat. Let us count down together. I'm very excited because I'm in Europe, because I'm going on not one, but two Royal Caribbean cruises coming up, beginning on, what day is today's Monday, on Saturday this week. Sorry, it's just like, when you travel, your brain is like, yeah, it's one of those days. We had a super chat before the broadcast began from Josh Albertson. Josh, thank you for the super chat. Josh wrote, what did you think of Long Beach? I didn't love Long Beach, I'll be honest with you. I thought it was a nice town. I don't know. I mean, was it nicer than San Pedro? Probably. I think Long Beach just had honestly, it had a homeless people problem. I mean, they were everywhere. And I don't have a problem with homeless people. I do have a problem with homeless people, or I have a problem with anybody for that matter, who is belligerently talking to. We're back. I don't know what happened. The Disneyland internet decided to just shut off. That was it. That's all. But we're back, I think. But glad to have all of you here. Hopefully it's better now. So let's see. Let me get down to those countdowns here. Kenny Shaffron in the house. What's going on, Kenny? Welcome. Brady from London. Hello. Alan with a Y. Jose is here. Welcome. Cheryl Person, what am I going to do tonight at 7:30? I know. I'm sorry. Listen, you're still getting your live today. It's just at a different time. Look at it this way. Now you don't have to do any work. You don't have to go to work at work. Let's put it that way. So, but welcome, everybody. Glad to have you all here. Lots of great countdowns. Cruise Chris at 59 days. Kenny's at 5 as well. Michael Weir at 89 days. Scott Miles at 75 days. Love it. Ed Viro, what's going on? Tanya, thank you for the super chat. If you have an early flight, do you need to get the key, or can you get off the ship early without it? You can get off the ship without it. Good question. So when you're disembarking the ship, the times refer to when your luggage is available, Tanya. So as an example, if you want to get off the ship because you have an early flight, you can carry your luggage off the ship, and then you can get off the ship whatever time you'd like to once the ship is cleared. The other thing I've noticed, Tanya, and this is like it's an unofficial policy, but like, let's say you didn't do the key, and I wouldn't buy the key for this reason to begin with, but let's say you needed to be off the ship. You want like the luggage tag like number 3, because it corresponds to a time that works for you. You could go to guest services and I would say plead your case, just explain to them. Every single time I've ever gone to guest services to ask for a lower tag number, all they ask me is, what number do you want? I think back in the day, they used to be really stringent about what time it was. Like, the luggage tag numbers. Now I really don't think they care. But really, if you want to get off the ship as early as humanly possible, my advice to you is to carry your luggage off. That's the surefire way, and you certainly don't need the key for that. So hopefully that answers your question there. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Guys, let's answer as many questions as we can. Type your questions in chat, and we'll answer as many as possible. It appears far less people want it. I'm not sure they want to or are able to talk with us than our usual time at 7:30. So I'm guessing Maybe some people actually do work at work. It's a novel idea, I suppose, but welcome everybody. I'm hoping also with opportunity for some of our friends in other time zones who are not able to join us for it because they're busy with life and whatnot. Today's 48 days of my first Royal Caribbean Wonder of the Seas cruise. My first full cruise. I never had a cruise. I had a cruise in nowhere several years ago. I hope you love it. The rule of thirds here. Oops. Hold on a second. Uh-oh. My janky setup here is not working. Okay, don't move. There we go. I think that's better. Let's see here. Mike B. Have fun, Matt. Legend, transatlantic in 476 days. Hoping to book something for August for this year. Yeah, dude, you need another cruise other than 476 days from now. That is way too long from now. Let's see. Stacy B's got our next question, I should say. I'm booked on August 16th sailing of Star of the Seas. Will we be able to get the cabin sooner since it's the first sailing in Orlando? Probably. Don't forget, there is actually a sailing before the August 16th sailing. There's a media cruise on August 13th. So this will be a situation which there are people who will be staying in your room. So maybe not. I have seen situations, Stacy, like where, and I think you're alluding to this, where a ship, repositions without passengers on board. And then, yeah, if the rooms are ready, then they'll just open them up early. But because there would have been at least some passengers on board for that media sailing, it might not be ready until the usual time. So, Jack Quayle, hope I said that right. Anyone know how late you can get off the ship generally on disembarkation day? Right around 9:30, 10 o'clock. After 9 o'clock, if you're still on the ship by 9 o'clock, you start getting the reminders, the pagers over the system, and then eventually start calling names. But you got to be off the ship by like 9:30, 10 o'clock at the absolute latest. But if you're waiting until 10 o'clock, they're going to be calling you over the PA system. So I really wouldn't even say 10 o'clock. Hiram, Rhapsody of the Seas in July. Love your channel. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Cruise Chris. Hi, Matt. I'm a Diamond member and want to do the loyalty thing on Celebrity. What tier and benefits do I get? I forget what the tier is, Chris. I apologize. There's a matrix that corresponds to the perks and whatnot. They're not amazing perks over on Celebrity. Royal Caribbean has the best perks, and most notably, Chris, you don't get 4 drinks a day on Celebrity like you do on Royal Caribbean. On Celebrity, they do like a happy hour, but the happy hour is literally an hour, and it's in one bar. It's kind of lame, if you ask me. But then again, no other cruise really does that. But there are some other benefits which I remember being decent, but nothing like amazing, if that makes sense. It's really just the I forget. Uh-oh. If we're still on, I can't see my screen because my computer. Cool. Are we back? Are we back? My God. Oh, mercy, mercy, mercy. Let's see. My video is Frozano because Windows decided now would be a good time to do an update. Hold on. Stand by to stand by. Unbelievable. Yes, I would like to exit now because I never lost audio. Yeah, so what happened was Windows decided to do an update right now because, when I'm in the middle of a broadcast, this would be a good time for you. This frustrates me more than anything in this world. Oh, no, I probably lost this. Hold on. Wait. Okay. Computer. You are live. Start streaming. Uh-oh. We got Houston, we have a problem. So y'all can hear me. Hold on. Exit. Craig, come fix this. Thanks, Windows. Now let's just redo. OBS is already running. Unless you want to do this, please shut down existing instance. Cancel. Oh, Task Manager. You all love me IT double. Really, what I need to do is restart the computer. That's an easy fix. But then that I lose the whole shebang over here. And I've got half a shebang going on right now. Where are you? There it is. I found it. End task. End task. All right, let's try it again. No, that's not what I wanted. Matt's frustration level is rising. 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 Rise. Hello? Okay. Start streaming. Okay. We did it, chat. All right, Matt. Now Matt's happy. I'm going to drink a... Oh, Windows. Anyway, I don't love celebrity benefits, but it's better than nothing. Let's see here. Adam, what to do in Ensenada? Honestly, just get tacos, dude. I did this last time I was just there, and you saw the video probably. Walk into town, get some tacos, have a beer, and then walk back to the ship. That I think that's a great day because tacos are really good. The rest of the town, not so much. Jordan, the internet is... I really believe my computer is doing updates right now. Hold on. Windows update. You know, this is not the time for updates. I guarantee you it's doing it right now because I think the internet went out earlier and now pause. Where's like the pause? Pause for 1 week, please. Please. Okay. Hey, Jordan. Never been to Roatan, going with the group, and we're just looking for a nice beach with the possibility of renting water sports from locals. I would book an excursion. The area surrounding Roatan is pretty shady. It's not great. I would definitely book. I did Turquoise Bay. It's not that close. I booked it through Royal Caribbean, but that was pretty nice spot over there. They don't have. I don't think they have the water stuff over there. Hey, Shane, thank you for the super chat. Boarding Brilliance of the Sea is leaving from Athens on July 18th. I still never received the email or notification to check in. Is there different check-in times for Europe? No. Shane, first and foremost, you don't need to wait for the notification in order to check in. What I mean by that is when you get to 45 days before your check-in time, it'll open up. The email/notification is almost always late. Like, let's say check-in opened at midnight last night, as an example, just for argument's sake. You probably wouldn't get the notification at midnight last night. You'll get it like a day or two later, if that. So my advice is to go in there, and if you're within 45 days from July 18th, I can't do the math of my head right now, then you'd be able to go in and do it anyway. So don't wait for the notification, basically. But it's still 45 days. Remember, it's midnight at the local time of the home port. So Athens are they 7 hours ahead of us in the East Coast? So they'd be like, that would be 12. It's like, what is that? 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock? No, 5 o'clock Eastern time, right? Hope that made sense, Shane. But yeah, you're good to go. Ratbone going on Liberty tomorrow. Nice. Mr. Steve Cohen. Steve, thanks for the super chat, buddy. An extra $5 for the Friday night pot. See you Friday night. Looking forward to the sailing new ports I haven't been to before. Amen. Safe travels over here, Steve. And thank you for the super chat. Looking forward to a fun time on Friday, and of course, a great cruise all together. Scary, thank you for the super chat. Any big differences between boarding in Europe versus the U.S. that we should be aware of? Well, I've done it twice now. Granted, they're both in Southampton, so there's that. But honestly, it was pretty much the same. The biggest difference is in Europe, primarily, they don't have like the Royal Caribbean terminal experience you have in the U.S. You know, these are all like industrial ports, like the old school ports. I forget, Rich, how long you've been cruising. But like the old school cruise terminals that look like, you know, cargo terminals is basically what you can expect. It's fine. Having done it in Southampton twice, it's pretty easy, pretty standard. I really trying to think about the last couple times I've gone out in the actual terminal itself. There's been anything different, and I don't recall there really being anything beyond that. So I would say probably not. Again, it doesn't have all the, you know, efficiencies of the U.S. per se, especially compared to like Terminal 1 in Miami, Terminal A in Port Canaveral. But it's no worse than like Tampa, or Cape Liberty, New Jersey. I think that's been pretty good. Now, granted, I've not cruised out of other ports, but around Europe, but still, I've not heard of anything that would make me think twice about that. Brian wants to know, what is a good thing to do in Ketchikan? Actually, I got an article for you, Brian. I'm very proud of this article, so I'm going to link it for you over here. Just 1 second. It's a hand-picked list of excursions that either myself or other readers at royalcaribbeanblog.com really like. And I'm going to link it to you. So keep in mind, take it with a grain of salt, but these are like, legit good ideas for tours of what to do in all your ports, not just Ketchikan. I'm going to post it in the chat right now. It just went in the chat, Brian. So thank you very much. Let's see here. Wisconsin Jason, thank you for being a club member for 10 months. Hey, Matt, hope you had a great vacation overseas. I'll be in a Grand Suite on my next cruise. This includes laundry service. It includes complimentary pressing on the first formal night. Otherwise, no. The only suite that includes complimentary laundry service is Star Class. But being in a Grand Suite, you'll get basically, you can give like your jacket or dress or whatever to your stateroom attendant, and you give them on day one, so that way they can have it ready for your first formal night, which is probably on day two. But it's just pressing. It's not dry cleaning or washing or anything like that. So yeah. Rain wants to know, why does Royal Caribbean and Celebrity just use the same loyalty system? Make it so the points from Celebrity and Royal Caribbean combined in one account, and your status can be translated in both lines. There is, it's an excellent point, Rain. I think there's two reasons. One's technical and one is cultural, let's say. The technical reason is, as of right now, the loyalty programs are separate systems, literally and figuratively, like they're in a different database. They're arranged differently. That's one thing. The other is the cultural aspect. Like, there are certain perks and amenities that Royal Caribbean offers and certain perks and amenities that Celebrity offers, and they're not one-to-one. So inevitably, if you were to combine them or to say this is the new loyalty program for both lines, it's going to ruffle some feathers. And when I say some feathers, I mean a lot of feathers, because inevitably some things that people liked up with Crown and Anchor may not be the same things on Captain's Club. I think my opinion that Royal Caribbean, and maybe eventually it'll get there, but for right now, I don't think there's any hurry to combine them into a unified perks program. Now, as for points, that would be a good idea. I would love that as a consumer, but I'm not sure if that makes business sense. But yeah. First Sergeant Richard, thank you for the super chat, man. Just saying hello. Gigi and I head off to Independence Seas in Europe for this August for a back-to-back cruise. England, Germany, Norway. That's exactly the itinerary that we're doing this week. We're going out of England, and we're visiting Oslo, Norway, Copenhagen, Rotterdam, and Hamburg. So very excited. And then we're doing a back-to-back like you are, and we're going to just Norwegian fjords. So First Sergeant Richard, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your generosity. And I hope we're going to have a lot of content coming to you about my cruises, which I hope will help your cruises as well, at least planning that right there. So, yeah. What is the YouTube XP rankings? It's essentially a gimmick that YouTube came up with to keep Craig and Kenny in our chat occupied during this broadcast. It's a silly program. I don't know. They came out like 2 weeks ago now, and it's very strange. Bixia, how does the dining package work in terms of the menu? Can you order anything unlimited, or is it like 3-course meal? It's anything unlimited. If you're at a restaurant like Chops or Giovanni's, where there's just a cover charge and that's covered by your dining package, and it's unlimited. You want to order 3 entrees, knock yourself out. In a restaurant that has a stipend, like Izumi or Playmakers, then obviously you can order anything you want up to that stipend. You pay the difference. So hope that makes sense. Let's see here. Lior, Manishma, Tadarava. Thank you for the super chat. Hopefully you guys are staying safe over there. Happy to join at a reasonable hour. Yeah, I'm sure. Listen, folks who live in a different time zone who can't usually make the 7:30, I'm hopeful this is good for you. Any suggestions for activities with children in Southampton? Do you plan to spend time there or just get on the ship? So we're not spending time in Southampton. We're going to spend all our time in London. Southampton is a very nice city. It's right on the shore. So personally, though, Lior, we just feel like London, being a major city, has more to offer us, and that's why we're spending all of our time there. So the morning of the cruise, we will go down to Southampton. I've never spent any time there other than simply going on a cruise there. There's an IKEA. Don't think your kids want to go there. That's the one thing I remember there being. There's a really large Mercedes dealership and a really large IKEA. But I know, I think Don and Judy are in the chat. I mean, if you ask Don and Judy, but lovely people who I'll be cruising with in a few days, they would tell you when we are in Southampton, we just drink wine because they're wine aficionados and they go from bar to bar and do that. But I'm sure there's more. I am sure there's more to do in Southampton than simply wine and IKEA. So far, I've not really answered your question very well. Of course, you could take day trips. Don't forget, Leor. You know, the nice thing about England, the trains are very efficient. You could hop on the train, go up to Southampton, or up to London, excuse me, and do other things like that. But it also depends on how many days you're spending there. I'll be honest with you. I think spending more than a day in Southampton would seem kind of boring, but because I just think there's more to do. But it depends on your priorities and if you've been to London before, if you've liked big city touring and things of that nature. So, Todd Weichman, what's up, man? Life not well, not on a cruise ship right now. Yeah, I know that feeling, brother. But glad to have you here, Todd. Nonetheless, Dad Beddick, thank you for the super chat. Just seeing if this gets me more YouTube XP. I believe it says you're supposed to get more XP based on super chats and messages in the chat. So, yeah. Thank you for the super chat. By the way, I am drinking Coke today because not only because I get thirsty during these, but because I'm dead tired from the flight. So I'm trying to make it. Last night I made it to 8:30 before I went to bed. Tonight I'm gonna make it to double digits. So a Coke will help me in that regard. Let's see here. By his grace, why has Royal Caribbean gone crazy on their 5-day cruises on the smaller ships? What? I don't know. 5-day cruise. I'm sure I understand your question. Can you retype your question? Explain your question a little bit more. Hey, Amy, Lure of the Seas in November. Very excited. Have the Ultimate Dining Package. You can't reserve a mason jar. Do you know? Thought it was part of the Ultimate Dining Package. It definitely is. Listen, the reason you got multiple answers is because no one really knows the answer. The answer is the website, the system is broken for whatever reason. And I don't know why it's not showing up there. I promise you the mason jar is part of the Ultimate Dining Package. It's strange that when you go to you book the dining package, it's not there as an option. If it's not there at all, or is it sold out on the day you're looking for? But fear not, it's included in the dining package. So when something on the website, let me make a generalization. When something on the website, on Royal Caribbean's website, doesn't work the way it's supposed to, 99% of the time, it is a problem that you simply need to step back from and come back again another day to see if they fixed it. It's not a problem that, it's not a policy change or anything like that, usually. But in this case, I think, quite frankly, it's just the website being the website. So, yeah. K-Shine says, definitely check out the Bar Andaluz for the best margaritas in Ensenada. Nice. I wish I had known about that before, but that sounds awesome. Somebody's very angry in my chat. Trisha wants to know, does Royal Caribbean usually have excursions and or package sales during the 4th of July? Yes, there will absolutely be a 4th of July sale. However, Trisha, that doesn't mean you'll actually save any money. As I often say, with any Royal Caribbean sale, 4th of July, Memorial Day, Christmas, National Margarita Day, there is actually a Royal Caribbean sale on National Margarita Day. The fact there's a sale does not necessarily mean it will save you money. It's all really a matter of the algorithm determining if your particular sailing is eligible for a better discount for whatever reason. So yes, there will be a sale, but it might not save you money. It's still worth checking though. Thunder Force. Hey, Matt, do you think the Seattle cruise market is lucrative enough in Royal Caribbean's eyes to ever start selling newer ships out of the city like Odyssey or the soon-to-be Discovery class? It's definitely lucrative. Alaska, which is where cruises out of Seattle go, for the Alaska market, it's extremely lucrative. As for your question, I'm assuming you mean to Alaska. Sure, anything's possible. I mean, listen, we've already seen, don't forget, Ovation and Quantum and Anthem have all gone out of Alaska. So Odyssey being another Quantum class ship. Yeah, it's really not a question of Alaska. Any ship that goes out of the West Coast, generally speaking, is going out of the West Coast because they also wanted to sail from either Australia or somewhere in Asia. So it's really a question of those markets than Alaska, if that makes sense. So hope that you understand that. All right, so by his grace, let's go back to that question earlier. I meant Royal Caribbean has gone crazy on their cruise prices as a family of 4 and at least 3 to 5. Oh, I see what you mean there. Got it. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, here's the answer. You're not going to be happy with the answer, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. The reason why is because that's the demand they're getting right now. I mean, Royal Caribbean is demand for all ships, small, big, medium, really high. And so the market can bear it. Now, I'd also point out, by the way, that, I mean, name something else that hasn't gone up in price in terms, especially in the vacation market, whether you're talking about going to a theme park resort or going to a hotel in a major city. I was in New York a couple weeks ago, as you all know, and it was like $600 a night for like, what did I end up staying in? Like, it wasn't even a Marriott. It was like one of the lower Marriott brands. Now that's Newark. I get it. I'm just pointing out that prices for everything have gone up. That's part of the equation. The other part of the equation is people are paying it because demand for Royal Caribbean, I mean, you look at their stock price, look at their earnings call, or listen to their earnings calls, I should say. When they report their earnings, this is where it is. So it's not so much, it's really just, I mean, at the end of the day, it's supply and demand and a little bit of inflation. So between the two of those factors, that's kind of why. That's a very short answer. It's a much longer, drawn-out answer we don't have time for, but I hope that kind of explains. As I said, I don't think you'd be happy with my answer, but that's the reality of it. If you're not going to pay for it, somebody else probably will, and that's kind of why. Let's see here. Albert wants to know, when do you normally find out your room number when booking a guaranteed cabin? There is no minimum threshold of time, Albert. It can be anytime between when you book your cruise and the day you set sail. At some point there you go. We have some super chats coming in here, so let me get to those. 14-inch dubs, thank you for the super chat. Going on Ovation, June 2026. Surprise cruise for my wife and friends. Is the Hubbard Glacier Wilderness Excursion worth the hefty cost? Yes. Hubbard Glacier, and I haven't done this particular tour, but Hubbard Glacier is like the best, like one of the best glaciers you can see. I would absolutely say yes. I know everything in Alaska is very, very pricey to begin with, but if you can get to Hubbard Glacier, I would do that in a heartbeat. Absolutely. Cowboy Valley. Thanks for being a club member for 3 months, man. Really looking forward to seeing you Thursday at the pub. Friday. We're not at the pub on Thursday. It's Friday. Make sure you come on the right day. Friday, the 20th. Very nice of you to have it at the pub, just a few doors down from our hotel. You are probably staying at the same hotel then as my neighbor Kenny. But listen, I'm a man of the people, Cowboy Valley. Make it convenient. So very much looking forward to seeing you and finally meeting you, because you've been here on YouTube for a long, long time, and now I'll finally be able to know who you are. So, and Cowboy Valley coming in, not just re-upping his membership, but also a super chat. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Again, safe travels over here. We don't talk about Kenny. This is true. Absolutely true. Charles, have you ever flown into Newark? If so, were there any problems getting to the port? No, actually, Newark has its own issues right now with air traffic control, but Newark Airport is the closest airport to Cape Liberty. So it's actually the most convenient option if you have the choice. But no, I've not had any problems with that. And yes, I have flown in there. Laugh Floating Adventures, what's going on, man? Welcome. Glad to have you here. Only 18 more days. Love it. Zach, what ship are you on? I just boarded Freedom about an hour ago. I will be going on Independence of the Seas. Right now, I'm at Disneyland, but I'll be going on Independence of the Seas on Saturday, which is awesome. Can't wait. Sorry for the next couple of weeks. Just to reiterate again, we're gonna have to be live at 1:30 Eastern time. I'm gonna be in Europe until the end of July, so this is the best time that's gonna work. I mean, maybe if I go any later, then I start running into like evening thing. I gotta hang out and be with my friends. So for right now, I think this 1:30 Eastern is gonna be the best I can do. But we'll play it by ear. But yeah, that's the reason why. Don't worry. Eventually, later this summer, we'll go back to 7:30. But I appreciate all of your understanding, and I appreciate many of you changing your schedules. In the case of Craig, I appreciate you doing exactly what you would be doing otherwise and skipping out on work for a little bit. So appreciate it. Amy Peters. Amy, thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message from you, Amy. Hang on. Stand by to stand by. Oh, there it is. Wait, I already answered this question from you, Amy, about the mason jar. Let me know if I didn't answer your question, but thank you for your generosity. Appreciate that. All right, let's see here. Scary, are you planning on doing a live chat from Independence? Yes. It's on the schedule of events, but yes, we'll be doing one on. I'll be doing it on Independence next 2 weeks. I'll definitely be, internet permitting, I will be doing the broadcast from on there. So yeah. Going back to the question about Leor had a question about Southampton, what to do. The Isle of Wight is a short boat ride for Southampton. Beautiful beaches. There you go. And the aforementioned Law Floating Adventures. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, we're booked on St. John on your own. Our ship is docked from 12:30 to 8. Is the excursion worth it? Let me do this. Let me stop. I'm not even going to read the rest of your question. St. John, no matter how little time you have, is absolutely worth it. And I love those times, actually. 12:30 to 8. If you're, the problem is they're not going to stay there till 7. But it's worth it. I would wait. Are you doing it? You booked St. John on your own through Royal Caribbean, right? Like the Royal Caribbean. Anyway, if you did, absolutely worth it. When you get, listen, it's a pain in the butt. You got to take you got a ferry and this and that and a bus. When you get to the beach, when you get in that water, you will think of me and said, you know what, Matt was right. It's the most beautiful beach I've ever been to in my life. In terms of water clarity, color, landscape, it's absolutely stunning, phenomenal. I really like it quite a bit. So I would say anytime I go to St. Thomas, I go to St. John because I really think it's worthwhile. So I would say yes, absolutely. Let's see here. Best cruise deals you have booked. Love finding Royal Cruise for a solo traveler earning double points for under $100 a night total. I mean, those days are pretty much gone, dude. I got to be honest with you. I mean, back in the day, pre-2020, yeah. Or at least even during the restart. That's a great question. I mean, what's the best deal I've ever gotten? It was so good, I can't remember it. Oh, it must have. I forget now. I mean, there must have been a couple that, like not $99, but something like that along those lines. I've certainly gotten good deals. The casino these days is probably still the best deal I get. I mean, granted, to be fair, whatever the casino charges for the cruise, obviously there is an inherited cost that comes with it from gambling in the casino and likely losing money in the casino. But the deals like that you're referring to are few and far between. It seems like. I mean, obviously, if you can cruise during an off-peak time of year, that'll definitely help your cause a lot. Next question is from Zach R. Zach, thank you for the super chat. Just boarded Freedom of the Seas to CocoCay and Nassau. Any recommendations? Yes. Are you looking for recommendations on the ship or the port? Because obviously CocoCay, we have lots of videos talking all about what to do there. I think you can simply hang out and have a good time. For Nassau, resortforaday.com, get a day pass to Resort for a Day. I feel like it's the best play in Nassau right now. As for what to do, on Freedom of the Seas, the Playmakers location is fantastic on Freedom. I really like that quite a bit. Don't forget to go out to the helipad for Sail Away on deck 4. Walk all the way forward. It's really, really nice. I like that a lot. So let's see here. Why doesn't Southampton have the large Oasis class ships at Southampton? I think it's more of a market thing. Royal Caribbean really doesn't put its Oasis class ships in Europe at all. They do that because they need to send it over here anyway to Europe for amplification every couple of years, but that's about it. I think part of it also is if you're cruising out of Southampton, while Southampton, I'm going to assume, can handle the Oasis class ships, the problem is the ports in Northern Europe tend not to be big enough for the big Oasis class ships, so the Mediterranean just works easier. And I think that's part of it. Also, climate-wise, the Med is better for an Oasis class ship. Things like that. Brene, I know you can order multiple entrees in the main dining room. Does that apply to specialty restaurants as well? It does, assuming it's a restaurant, especially a restaurant that has a cover charge. So Chops Grill, Giovanni's, Mason Jar, yes, absolutely, same exact thing. But obviously, if you're at a specialty restaurant like Izumi Sushi or Playmakers, that has that doesn't work that way because you get a stipend for that. So you pay for each item, rather, I should say, with those restaurants. So hope that makes sense. Jose, just want to say thank you all for what you do here from North Carolina. You are very welcome, my friend. Thank you. The Russian Floof Cat, good to see you again. Thank you for the super chat. We'll be on Star for the December 21st sailing. Do you know the timeline of when the Linkers Supper Club would become reservable? I do not. I know we've gotten this question a lot lately as to when will you be able to make specialty dining reservations for Star of the Seas? And it's for any sailing. It's not just your sailing. And the answer is I don't know. With new ships, typically there's a lag factor. I remember this happened with Utopia. This happened with Icon, where it gets pretty close to the actual sail date, and then at some point they finally open up reservations. I don't know why there's a delay. I assume there is a logistical systems and related issue that Craig Hart could probably fix. But for whatever reason, that's why it is the way it is. So you just got to keep waiting a little closer. It'll eventually be there. And at this point, I'll definitely make a blog post about it when it does, but there's no update as of now. Let's see. Dorothy, we're a family of 5 wanting to rail a railway, but is the seating room only for 4 people per table? That's what it said on the app. Yeah. You can see some of our videos we've done, Dorothy, about that restaurant. It's not a very large one, and all the tables are the exact same size. So yeah, in order to do that, you'd have to almost book 2 different reservations, like a 3 and a 2, something like that. That would be okay. That would work. So you'd have to just break it up into 2 different reservations. Hey, Whitney, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Matt, just got off Odyssey and had so much fun I forgot to visit Next Cruise Desk. Does Royal Caribbean offer any Next Cruise extensions for recent cruisers? No, I'm sorry. I wish there was a better answer for you, but unfortunately, once you're off that ship, you're out of luck. I would point this also out to Whitney. While it is nice, listen, extra onboard credit, reduced deposit is lovely, but you should still just book it at what the rate is today rather than waiting, obviously, for your next cruise to book that, whatever you're going to book anyway. But no, once you're off the ship, that's it. There's no bounce backs or like, in case you missed it, here's another opportunity kind of things. I know some companies do that. Royal is not one of them. So yeah, it's either on the ship or you don't do it at all. Hannah, 12 months, 1 year. Thank you for being a club member. Happy Monday. My niece just moved to Galveston for school. Now I have a place to stay and park for my cruises. That is really convenient. Thank you, niece, right? Isn't that great when all of a sudden some change in your life greatly benefits your cruising career? Like in Hannah's case here, it's her niece moved somewhere that she can get free parking. It's maybe it's getting a new promotion at work. Maybe it is moving somewhere much closer to cruise ships. It's always nice when you have that silver lining where it's like, yeah, this isn't the reason I'm doing it, but my goodness, I'm happy it's happening. So love that. Lindsay Joseph, thank you for the super chat. Toilet paper, can you bring your own? You cannot. You should not. Let's put it that way. The problem, I had this idea as well because the toilet paper on Royal Caribbean is absolutely terrible, like really bad. The problem is, and the reason why it's so bad is not because Royal Caribbean is cheap. The problem is the plumbing system. The toilets are very sensitive. They're different than the plumbing on land, and they literally cannot handle like triple ply toilet paper or what have you. If you were to bring your own, you would seriously risk clogging not only your toilet but a bunch of toilets around your stateroom because they have a shared system there. It is unfortunate, but you really shouldn't bring your own because you could cause a major blockage it would inconvenience you just as much as anybody else. So yeah, too bad. NYC lover for life, what's going on? Welcome. Don says for Southampton, not a lot. 4 kids in Southampton, a few museums if they're into history. Yeah, so yeah, Leo, it's probably, like I said, it's not like the place for like if you're going to Southampton for like 1 day plus, that's fine, right? You'll find something to keep them occupied, but it is not where you should. You're not going to spend like 2, 3, 4 days there, kind of thing. I would think. Let's see here. Zach, I have not thoughts on Falmouth, Jamaica. Is it safe? I have not been to Falmouth in a number of years. The last time I was in Falmouth was like, I don't think it's been 10 years, but it's getting close to 10 years ago. Luckily, I've been able to evade it because the port itself is fine. But as I recall, when you get out of the port area itself, similar to Roatan and other ports, it's just not a great area. There's not much happening there to begin with. It's not a built-up area. And so it's kind of like, whatever. There's some nice things you can do, like on a bus ride. I would say Falmouth is one of those ports where you should have an excursion planned if you're going to get off the ship and do something. It is not a walk off the ship and explore kind of port. Like San Juan, Puerto Rico is like that. Cozumel, Mexico is like that. This is not one of those ports. So hope that makes sense. Cruising Pete, watching while pretending to work. I love that, man. Listen, I do that too. I watch Sherry from Cruise Ship TV does a lot of her Amazon lives at like 9:30 in the morning. And I'll be working, but I'll have her broadcast on. It's just nice to have something in the background to, enjoy. So hope your day at work is not too bad over there. Trey wants to know any thoughts on whether San Juan will be open in August for Oasis Icon class ships. I don't know. I have a cruise in October there. I have my doubts, Trey. I really do. I hate to say it, but I'm in the case of the likelihood of San Juan, Puerto Rico, or Labadee being open at any point in the near future, I would say I'm very much pessimistic about our chances, because let's look at past history and kind of using that as our guide. I feel like that's the thing right there. So yeah. Ray and Nancy, thank you for the super chat. Hey Matt, we scored a perfect middle ground on Ovation. August Mexico trip, Sky Junior Suite, great benefits. Awesome. Thanks to Kelly Scalar at MEI Travel. Yeah, that is a really interesting. First of all, that's awesome. Second of all, I really need to try the Sky Junior Suite because it's the Junior Suite with Sky class benefits, and so it's like the best of both worlds, right? The room, which is reasonably priced for not a suite, and then the Sky class benefits, which are the best reason to stay in a suite. It seems like a good idea. So yeah, love that. Mr. Jeff Burns is here. Chet, because you're not on a cruise, I'm just going to cheers you with a Coca-Cola. Otherwise, if you were on the cruise, I'd be cheersing you with the dankiest, smelliest, chewiest IPA someone could find. But there's no one there to drink that with me on this cruise. Craig doesn't drink that. I got to drink it by myself. All by myself, without my friends, without Chet. There's no one. So cheers, buddy. Not danky at all. All right, back to the questions now. Wild Type. What are some of the best third-party websites to book cheaper excursions from? Viator.com, shoreexcursiongroup.com. Those are resortforaday.com. My three favorites right there. C. Locker. Thank you for the super chat. Strange Star of the Seas hasn't released a replacement for the Attic and Pier 7. Also, 1,400 bars is shown on the deck plan. Possible surprise pesky parrot. I can tell you for certain, with 1,000% certainty, there will be a 1,400 bar, and it'll be called the 1,400 bar. I don't know why it's not on the deck plan, but I remember I talked to, I won't say who I talked to. I don't know, maybe that conversation wasn't public. It's going to be the 1,400 bar. So let's leave that alone. As for the Attic and Pier 7, I don't know. It is strange, but sometimes strange things happen like this. I don't know. With Royal Caribbean, sometimes it's hard to know. Are they being like sneaky, or are they being, I don't want to say lazy? Are they taking their time updating things that shouldn't take this long to update? And I feel like it's probably the latter, but you never know. You never know. What's the best thing to do? What's better to do in St. Thomas, Megan's Bay or the Sky Ride? The Sky Ride is very short. That's like an hour, unless you really spend a lot of time up there. So I would say both. Do the Sky Ride first in the morning, get off the ship early, do the Sky Ride, then go to Megan's Bay. That's very doable, in fact. Maltz99, what's going on, man? Welcome. Glad to have you here. Jeremy, we'll start the season be at 100% capacity when visiting CocoCay on August 17th. On Utopia, and we'll be docking alongside Start. I'm worried about crowds. You mean crowd capacity? I think so. I mean, listen, Jeremy, you shouldn't be that worried because this has already happened. This particular scenario is already played out with Icon and some other Oasis class ship. I mean, remember, CocoCay is designed to be able to handle 9,000 to 12,000 passengers. And don't forget, not everybody gets off the ship. And Star, being a brand new ship, there's gonna be a lot of people who are going to stay on that ship to enjoy it because it's only that's the 3-nighter, right? So I wouldn't worry. You're not getting 7,000 people getting off Star of the Seas. You're just not, because again, number one, not everybody gets to begin with. Number two, it's a brand new ship so there's a lot more, and it's a short cruise. Number three, so that's going to keep, I think, a lot of people on the ship, quite frankly. Let's see here. Oh, no. Christelle, first time in your live, so thought you just missed my comment. No problem at all if you can't answer my question. Honestly, the truth, first of all, welcome. I can't answer every single question we get here. There's just too many comments and short amount of time. I try to get to as many as we can. I also don't, maybe if there's a question we already answered earlier, I might skip over it, but I try to get to as many as I possibly can. Dan wants to know, going on Anthem of the Seas November 10th from Sydney, I prepaid gratuities, but do I tip in Australian dollars or American dollars? US. On Royal Caribbean, on the ship itself, always US dollars. Next question is from Gene. Do you know if you can go straight to your room if you're just doing carry-on? This is my first time not doing a check-on. One has nothing to do with the other. Good question. So if you're not if you're carrying your own luggage on, you're responsible for your luggage until your cabin opens. So it depends on your check-in time, quite frankly, Gene. So let's assume for a second that your check-in time was, 2:00 in the afternoon. Could you then take your bags on the ship, carry them on and then go straight to your room? Yeah, because cabins will be ready then. But if you have an 11 o'clock check-in time and cabins aren't ready until 1, then you have to keep your luggage with you until 1 o'clock. You can't go to your cabin even to drop off luggage before that. Let's see here. Captain Bob, as you almost missed this, I need my cruise to come sooner than later. Well, Captain Bob, glad you're here. Don't forget, we'll be Captain Bob for the next 4 or 5 weeks. We're going to be live here at 1:30 Eastern because I'll be in Europe. But glad to have you here, buddy. Welcome. Jeffrey Hall. Jeff, thanks for the super chat, man. 166 days till Icon. So when they decorate for Christmas, do they do any special events for the holidays? Yeah. So sailing first week in December. Love what you do. Watch every Monday, no matter what time it's on. Appreciate that, man. So yeah, they do decorate for Christmas. Usually it's right after Thanksgiving, Jeff, like the sailing after Thanksgiving. It's not always the case, but they've been pretty consistent with it lately. So I would say you're more than likely, if your cruise begins in December, probably they'll have it. Now that's going to be the extent of it, Jeff, because as for special events, they only do special events for the holidays on board if you sail over actually Christmas Day. So if your cruise is the first week of December, you'll have a Christmas tree somewhere on the ship, and that's about it. So, yeah. It's not like Disney World where they do holiday parties and all this stuff for 7 months before the holiday. It doesn't quite work that way. So, yeah. Dad Bettick, thank you for the super chat. Maybe this button will get more XP. I mean, let me put it this way, Dad Bettick. I don't know if it does, but if it did, you would really, if you could beat out Kenny, you'd be pretty, you'd give me a good laugh on that. Let's see here. Cummins Cider, what's up, man? Do they have hard cider and Royal Caribbean ships or just beer? They do. They have, oh gosh, where's Josh Carthers when you need him? He used to drink it all the time. Angry Orchard is the brand. I believe that's the only one they have on there. GS Adventures. Let me go drink a soda here because I don't have a beer for Jeff Burns. We're leaving out San Juan, Puerto Rico in November, and it leaves late. You know what we can do with our luggage after checking out of our hotel? Same thing as always, man. Don't forget, because when your ship leaves from San Juan, I know your departure date time is 8 o'clock, right? Check-in is still at the normal time. So just go straight to your ship. Worst case, if you really want to spend some more time in the city, most hotels will hold on to your luggage for you at Bell Services, and then you can come and get it later. So, yeah. Laura, if a show is full, is it easier for a single person on a waiting list to get in? I'm not sure I understand your question. If there's a wait, how does that help you? Okay, you get one person, let's say they come through on the waiting list, sure. And then what? They're going to hold 7 seats for you? It's kind of uncool to do that if that's your plan, because it's not the point of having reserved seats. I would say this. If you can't get a show reservation, don't worry about it. Truly. What I would do instead is if the show, just get there a little early to the show and to the standby line, and you'll be good. If the show time is 7 o'clock and you're in line, 20, 30 minutes before that, you'll have no problem getting a seat for everybody. Just make sure you're there early. Don't roll in at 7 o'clock. Next question is from Ryan. Jeez, I can't read. Thank you for the super chat. Addie says, hi, cruise guy. Addie, how are you, Addie? Welcome. Mommy and Daddy had that cruise for you to get all of the ice cream you can eat. 14 weeks till Symphony of the Seas. Addie has only been on Oasis Icon class. What smaller ship would be good for toddlers? Ooh, good question. I would probably tell you a ship that certainly has a nursery. That's good for her and for you. There's not many that aren't left. I would say this. If you're talking, the Freedom class, the Quantum class, especially the Quantum class, the reason I like the Quantum class a lot, and now I think about it, is they have that little play area outside of Adventure Ocean. It's like a not a jungle gym, but it's an area for the kids to run around. Just newer ships have more space for kids. As long as that's what you're looking for, you need a ship that has splashaway bay, a nursery. Other than that, I'm not sure there's much else that really truly matters. I would say those are the two biggest things right there. So yeah. Elaine is going on Odyssey November 5th. Figured pool will be too cold out in New Jersey. The Solarium pool's warm enough to enjoy. Oh yeah, you'll have no problem there. Absolutely. All right, guys, we have a couple more minutes here. We're going to head on out of here. My goodness, we're already almost at our hour, and then I got to go walk around some more. Palmer Edwards wants to know, is there any way to accrue points other than booking cruises? There's not. The only way to earn points is either to go on a cruise or a cruise tour, like in Alaska, when you book a cruise and you add a land tour. But no, you can't buy points. You can't earn credit card points to convert to that. You can't transfer points in. The only way to earn Royal Caribbean Crown and Anchor points is to go on cruises. So, yeah, sorry. Tolaya, man, I can't read today. Just booked a limited dining plan for my 5-day Mariner cruise. Does it include Izumi Sushi and Johnny Rockets? Yes and yes. You get Johnny Rockets pays the cover charge. At Izumi Sushi, you get a stipend. It's like $40, $39.99, so more than enough. Also, they charge a gratuity to the fee. Do I still tip? Good question. So the answer is it does include gratuity. I always tip on top of it personally, but that's just a me thing. But yeah, it clearly states that service fee is the gratuity, and that's what's covered there. So I don't think you're stiffing anybody by just simply going with that. I'm just telling you my own personal thing. But that's just a me thing. So you don't have to read into that necessarily. Let's see here. Evan Lane, 417 days till Ovation, Alaska, 496 till Legend Transatlantic. Should my husband book another cruise before then? Yes. Yes, he should. Of course. Listen, when you have a countdown, you have a 400-day countdown, you need something earlier than that. If you had a 27-day countdown, I would say you need something earlier than that, Tony Diaz. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mr. Around the Globe, we board December 26th to do Christmas decorations, stay up between Christmas and New Year's. Yeah, they stay up until at least right around after New Year's. Then, literally the sailing after New Year's, they shovel them all away. SL, what's going on? Welcome. Glad to have you here. Ryan, cruises in March of next year. When does the daily planner start filling out? There isn't exactly a timeline, Ryan, where it's like, oh, this many days, this many months beforehand it shows up there. You just got to keep checking back periodically. It's just one of those things where one day it's not there and then one day it is. So, yeah. Wild Type, is it possible to get seats for shows, restaurants, or activities without reservations? Yes, yes, and yes. In many cases, so for shows, as I mentioned earlier, there's always a standby line. If you get into the line at least 30 minutes beforehand, you'll have no problem getting in there. For restaurants, I can absolutely with 100% certainty, even when restaurants are sold out online, there's availability on board the ship. I've seen this time and time again. The only one that can possibly truly be sold out, well, two. Chef's Table, or three. Chef's Table, Empire Supper Club, and Izumi Hibachi. Those three have very fixed and very small areas, and that's why I say that. But I have definitely seen Izumi Hibachi where it's sold out before before the cruise begins. You get on board the ship and there are still reservations available. So yeah. And for activities, well, it depends on the activity, obviously. Once again, it just depends on the activity, so I can't generalize on that one. So yeah. Let's see here. Abigail wants to know, any ideas on what my family can do after disembarkation? We have a 7 p.m. flight out of Miami. Oh, I got an idea for you, Abigail. Go to, I believe it's resortpass.com. There's resortpass.com and dayuse.com, like U-S-E, dayuse. These websites, you can get a day pass to a hotel and go sit at the pool or what have you. They'll obviously you don't have a room at the hotel, but in some cases actually you do. But anyway, they'll take your luggage. I would do not spend all day in the airport. That sounds like a terrible way to end your vacation. I would instead go to resortpass.com or dayuse.com and get something over there and then spend the day and enjoy some time there. Whether you're at the pool or Resort Pass or day use, I think has hotels you can get for the day as well. Somewhere like near the airport. As an example, when I flew out of London the last 2 times, I got a hotel through them right at the airport. I didn't go to the pool. It was somewhere not to be in the airport for like 5 hours, right? So I could, take a nap, shower, order luncheon, something like that. But if you're in Miami and you want to, maybe you want to enjoy some time at the pool or the beach, that'd be another use for you. So there you go. Let's see here. John Stewart, thank you for the super chat. Do cabanas to CocoCay include gratuities? They do not include gratuities. So you are expected to tip after that. John, I shared this. I did a video a little while ago about how much I tip everybody, including cabana attendants. I personally don't shoot the messenger. I tip $100 to the cabana attendant. Total. Like, doesn't matter if I'm there with just my family or my neighbor Kenny's family. $100 usually is our going rate. Tyler Deidre. Tyler, man, I can't wait to cruise with you, man. It has been back since 2020. So, my goodness, safe travels over here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you and the family. Say hi to Jenny for me. Stephanie and Calvin, what ship do you predict coming to Galveston in 2027? I would say bold, but I don't think it really is. Icon of the Seas. I think that'll be the year. Let's see if I'm right on that one, but that's my guess. Hey Clark, the 18% mandatory tip plus tax needs to go. When you order $8 beers, you'll have to ask for a glass. I mean, not every time you have to ask for a glass, to be fair. Some waiters bring in, some ask, some don't do it. That's fine. I would say this: no matter what bar you've ever, my entire adult life, Royal Caribbean or not, when I go to a bar and order a drink, I tip them like $1 extra because it's like it is what it is. I don't have a problem with the auto gratuity. Number one, I think it makes it cleaner. Like, it's just easier in a lot of cases. It's just simpler to not have to worry about it. Your point is probably not related purely to the glass, asking for a glass. I would say in most cases, I think in most cases when I order a beer, they ask me if I want a glass or not. But yeah, nonetheless, glass or not, I truly believe the crew members deserve it. And like I said, when I go to a bar on land, if I order a beer, I usually tip them $1 anyway. So same to me, it's the same difference, but fair enough. We don't have to agree on everything. Just sharing my own opinion. Lisa, have you been on Enchantment Seas? I did. I went on Enchantment for the very first time in January. We have a full review of it over here on our YouTube channel. So check that out on our YouTube channel here for that. And last couple questions, and we got to head on out of here. Mirror effect, if you book a solo cruise a few months closer to date, can you add to another guest? If you do that, it's going to basically be a repricing at the current rates. You will probably find it to be extremely inefficient financially. In that scenario, you should book it as 2 people in the room, and just the second person can just make up a name. You go as name swap later on. And last question is from Max. Does the unlimited dining include food in the English pubs? It does if the pub includes food. Remember, you only get food in the pub on Quantum class ships, in which case it does work. But for other ships, it does not. And in the pub, you get a stipend there as well, just like Playmakers or something like that. So, all right, friends, I'm going to head on out of here. I got to go back to Disneyland. But I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Thank you for your support. And thank you so much for everything. We'll be back again next Monday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Set your clocks. We'll be back in 1:30 p.m. Next Monday. Until then, have a great week, everybody. Stay safe out there. To all my friends coming on Independence of the Seas with me later this week, safe travels over here. And we'll see you soon. Have a great week, everybody.